A very unusual orb. Okay.
It's come back on. It went off completely.
Oh God.
Yeah. It completely went off.
Is it back on? No, it's not. Wow. Video has ended.
I don't know what happened there.
Can you press live again?
Yeah. Yeah, yes, you're on.
Okay. Well, we just got cut off. Once again. So welcome back, everyone. I'll wait for everyone to come back in. There we go. Okay, I'm back. Good.
Yeah, they're coming back.
Everyone's coming back. Yeah, okay, so interesting. We're talking about, there was a huge orb, apparently, just before we got cut off. And we probably got cut off, didn't we, Dee?
Probably, absolutely cut off, yeah.
Absolutely cut off. Okay, so I hope everyone can hear me, and we're back. You're back, yay. Juju's, Maxine Powell, 3 others are watching you. Okay. See, that's what you get when you start saying about fake spirituality, you get cut off. Just seen the orb, and Joanne saw a face. Okay, so we've got some energy here tonight, and we are talking about, you've gone again.
No.
Just talking about energy transference, and it seems to be being shown in action. Okay, yes, everyone's seen this orb. Are the orbs I see during Reiki healing higher vibrational? Yes, I would say that they are. Some people say it's dust. Sometimes it is.
Yeah.
With dust, you tend to get, with a normal orb, so a dust orb, it will flitter and flick like that. When you get what I call an energy orb movement, it will go vroom. You'll get a real trajectory from it. Okay. Alison Kavanagh, hi lassies. Hi everyone. Dorothy Castley, hello. Linda Cantor's watching. Thank you, mummy. Okay, so we're back on. Right, so back to energy transference. When we're healing, or when we're remote viewing, or when we're using telepathy, and I believe channel to be, again, a telepathic meeting of consciousnesses. That's what I believe. I don't know if anyone else has got any other views on that, but it is bringing... What was that? Okay, we're having some really, really strange things going on in here tonight. So keep watching, because there's obviously going to be a lot of orbs. Okay, can I just say, before we get into live channeling and all of that, there's a few things that I want to give you a heads up on. So Peter Stone is going to be doing a talk at the Bull's Head in Dorking on this Sunday. It's a 5 p.m. start. You have to book. So if you want to go on to the Bull's Head Dorking, or you can email the Bull's Head Dorking @outlook.com. So Peter Stone's doing a talk. Also, Lucis College, so Crystal Shirley, who someone that I work with very regularly, the autumn program for Lucis College is now out. They've got all sorts of things going on this autumn. So they've got his crystal healing, reflexology teaching, workshops. There's the Reiki Master Practitioner course, intuitive card readings, so much more. So if you want to log on to Lucis College, you can see their autumn program. And obviously, talking about someone that works truly in integrity, Lucis College has been doing this for years. So that's Shirley O'Donoghue, Kate Winter. And they're really sort of community based. They've also started the People's Health Alliance, which Dee and I are also part of. And that's just about trying to bring all types of healing modalities together, so that people have got a place to go when their health isn't great or they need mental support. So that's also kind of in the inceptions of really starting to be put into place. Okay. Joe Lockyer, Shirley is amazing. She absolutely is. So yeah, so just there's lots going on in the community, and I know I keep banging on about community, but it's so important that we help each other and assist each other during this new timeline that is coming into effect. I'll talk about that in a minute. Sanfit stream, I can't hear you properly. Okay, nothing I can do about that, I'm afraid. So with mediumship and quantum transference, I would also say that when we remote view, does everyone know what remote viewing is? Okay, I'll explain. Catherine Hodgson, what is Peter Stone's talk about? No idea, but I would imagine it's probably something to do with your sovereignty and common law and all of that. Okay, you realise they were part of the Health Alliance. Must investigate more. Yeah, so Shirley, Kate Winter, myself and Dee and a few others are starting to do the Surrey People's Health Alliance. That's springing up all around the country, and just a really good resource for people that maybe feel that traditional medicine is maybe let them down a bit. So, but it's also about bringing medical professionals on board as well. Okay. So anyway, I'm going to also talk about the channel from last time. So I don't know how many of you were on last time, but so the channeling with John D, who, shall I explain, Dee, what I'm talking about?
Yeah, well, you started talking about remote viewing.
Oh, remote viewing. Sorry, Dee keeps me on track. So remote viewing is, it started interestingly in America, CIA. So they would take, initially they took Native American men, so took them from their tribal lands. And Native Americans believe that the hair is your psychic antenna. So the longer their hair, the more psychic antenna they had. And the military, especially the American military, and it's happening England, Russia, everywhere, they would know that the Native Americans were very psychic or adept at what we would call remote viewing. So, but to join the military, they would shave all their hair off, as you would in the military in America. And a lot of the Native Americans believed that when their hair was cut off, they lost their psychic ability. So it's just an interesting sideline. So remote viewing would be, if I wanted to go to the Kremlin and look at secret papers, what I would be given, I would imagine or tune in to my awareness of that and sort of bilocate, so send my energy there. I mean, people that are very adept at right, you've got Angela Thompson Smith, who was a remote viewer in Nevada, one of the few females that are doing it. She's an amazing woman. She wrote a book, I can't remember what it is. Maxine's saying, grow my hair again then. But it's about being able to go anywhere in the world in an energetic format, in a telepathic format. Also what they would do, so you've got Ingo Swann. I'm looking for one of his books. I've got a book, I've forgotten what it's called, sorry, but Ingo Swann was one of the big remote viewers in the 60s, 70s and 80s. And he's written some books, so you can look him up. So it's Ingo Swann, Swann. And he was very accurate. He was also accurate about structures on the moon, structures on Venus, which have borne out. So he would be given locations like 50 degrees northwest, 24 latitude, and you would concentrate on those numbers. We've done it in our class actually to learn remote viewing, and it does take a bit of work. You can also go into the IRVA, so it's the International Remote Viewing Association website, and they've got little tests that you can do on remote viewing. It's a lot of fun, quite addictive. I used to do it at work a lot. Anyway, So these are all little resources that you can go and test your remote viewing. I believe when you take the mind out of the equation, anything is possible. And that's the same with mediumship, quantum interfacing. I'm called a plasmic interface. We still don't quite know what that means, but when I'm channeling, I believe that the information is implanted into my consciousness, and I'll just say it in my own voice. I don't have that trance mediumship where I take on the persona of an energy. I take on the information, and I think that's where the difference is. Munro Institute, absolutely. Right, has anyone got any questions on that? Like energy, just while I get a drink. Dee, got anything to add?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so someone's saying about practicing. Also, there's all sorts of things. There's lucid dreaming, where you go into a dream, wake yourself up within the dream, and then you're dreaming within the dream. That takes a bit of practice. We've got all sorts of things. We've got astral projection. That's also the Munro Institute. Edgar Casey, who was one of the big, I think he was a remote viewer, a medium. He's got so much information. You can look some of his stuff up in the American archives. I think that is at the Casey Institute, but I'm not sure.
Apparently you keep dropping into a male voice.
Bloody hell, do I?
Yeah, you're channeling. Who are you channeling that's male? You're going to go weird on us. Yeah.
Bloody hell. Wendy, you should... Okay, I'm a man. Well, I'm trying not to go into a male voice, but there we are. Yes.
Someone said that they're able to lucid dream even as a child and they can control them.
That's right.
And also re-enter the same dream the following night. That's so cool.
That's cool. Okay,
Yes. That was from...
Yeah, I would like to be able to pronounce that name properly, so I won't even try. Yeah, that's quite an art form. Okay, so I've gone into a man voice. Fair enough.
No one else has said that, but...
Yes, throat chakra. Yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously, the last time I did this, I completely lost my voice. James is saying, my voice does change when it goes into light language. And when I channel, my voice is lower and the rhythm changes. Claire. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Thanks, Claire. Yeah, I think when I'm channeling, I don't change my voice, but I do think I slow down. And I think also, James, that my rhythm changes as well. Dee's saying it does. The male voice has thrown me, but who knows? Right, so the last time I did the channel, so the first time I did channel, was it 2 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago. Well, just before the Queenie died. John Dee, so it's Dr. John Dee. He was Queen Elizabeth I's alchemist. He was a mystic. He coined the phrase British Empire. He was a scryer. He was a mystic man, astrologer. He was everything. And he started to come into my channelings within the last year, would you say, Dee?
Yeah, a bit about it.
Okay,
Yeah.
so when I did the channel 2 weeks ago, he brought up John Dee in the channel that I did, said that the timeline started in 1952 and was collapsing. And obviously the day after the Queen died. So it was interesting that they're talking about this timeline, and we're now moving into a much, much more open and diverse timeline. So that's coming, and I think that's starting, I would say probably, well, now onwards, and I'm hoping that in channel we'll get a bit more information about what the timeline is, and moving beyond the aspect of worrying about cabal and all of that. We're moving beyond that as well, and that had its place, but I think it's time for us to ascend. Does that make sense? And leave some of this behind. I got mail last time, white overalls, painter, decorated, linked in via you. Okay, Nina, I got information channeled to me when I do readings. The card give me a lot of guidance, but information comes to me. Yeah, it's interesting. It's all very telepathic. That's what I would say. It's interesting because Sam Munro is also an animal communicator, and you would think that you would need an understanding of language to talk to an animal, but you absolutely don't. So, and I'm sure Sam can give us more guidance on that. And actually, Sam, I would really, really love, he's going to put her in this, to have you come to do a live and talk about your animal communication, because it's such a fascinating thing. So I've just put you right in it, Sam. Dreamt once of being in the Council of Elders. Was the astral travelled in a dream? Okay, so a lot of you are very open and receptive to the new frequencies, and especially the new timeline. It's called the divine timeline that we're going into now. Okay, let's have a drink more water.
I apologise if the screen went blank. There was a great big furry cat in front of the projector.
Oh right, cat got in front of the projector. I see pixelating around your head, but your voice stays the same.
It's Wendy. I think it's Wendy's got the problem her end.
Oh, energy playing up, keeps pixelating, which then drops your voice to male. That might be my end. Okay.
No one else has said.
No. Okay. Well, it's interesting. We've got a lot going on.
Oh, and Catherine as well.
Yeah. Okay. So obviously we got cut off when the huge orb came in. And that is energy. The minute we kind of, if we all, right, let's do a little exercise. So everyone just listening now, I just want you just to close your eyes. And if we can, or if you can all link into me and my energy. So in a kind of remote viewing way, just kind of link into me, and we'll just see what happens energetically. I hope it doesn't cut us off. So the way to do that is just close your eyes, try and just let go of everything if you can. And just visualize yourself all linking into the heart chakra point. And as we start to link together, you can definitely feel that. I don't know if you can feel that energy. There's a real kind of expanding of the energy. Obviously, when you've got a lot of people tuning into one thing, everyone has a different idea of things as well. So, but this can be good exercises to do with friends or family. Okay, so we've got cats. Yeah. Okay. So that felt like a kind of expansion. Does that make sense? Dee, did you feel any?
Well, no, I was looking at the screen to see if anything was happening.
Hello, Bez. Oh, your voice has changed. Wow. Okay, well, I can truly tell you I'm speaking in my own voice. So I don't know what's going on there. Yes, sense energy stronger. Okay, so if anyone's got any questions or not, I will go into live channel. It's interesting, Cloud, Dee's, well, our cat, but originally Dee's, beautiful big British blue he is. He's been a little bit off colour, and now he's just going mad under the tripod where Dee is. So I just wonder if he's picking up on the energy.
He's a bit fractious.
He's a bit fractious, that's interesting.
She used to chill, isn't he?
Okay. Yeah, Sheila Corner, definitely strong energy, absolutely. So I know I'm jumping all over the place, I apologise. Mercury retrograde, that's my excuse. I'm not sure that you do need that. Agree, even AC, I do question how it arrives. I think things are changing. Things are definitely changing. So let me just explain a bit who I channel. And it can be anyone that comes in, if I'm honest. But it tends to be John Dee, who was, like I said, Queen Elizabeth I astronomer. He was a cosmologist. Did a lot of magic. So he's often coming in. I get someone called Beloved, who we call Jesus, but it's Beloved. And you can get the archangels. You can get... You can get higher energies, cosmological energies. They don't like the word galactic, but whatever. So we'll just use whoever comes in. So, and then we'll have a little Q&A after channel. Is that okay? All right. So what I want everyone to do, just so it helps me. So if we can just close our eyes, take a really big deep breath in. Let that breath out, just release it. And just keeping your eyes closed, we're going to link in together. So in channelings coming forward. So we have John D, who tends to come in, I call him the alchemist, but he's here first. We've got Metatron, so we've got some of the archangel energies coming in. But I'll start with John D himself. Now, he was talking about the 1952 timeline. He's saying that timeline has now completely folded in on itself, like a crumpled timeline. But he's saying in its stead is coming this new quantum divine timeline that starts from now. And he's saying it spans out another 12 years. And within this 12 years, he's saying we're going to be moving into ultra and hyper consciousness, where we will be culpable for actions. We will be culpable for what we do. So it's a kind of a self-awareness, but also taking responsibility for what we say, what we do, what we are. He welcomes everyone. His astrology is very interesting. I don't understand a lot of it, but he was ultimately a magician. And he's saying we are moving into this new Jerusalem magic time. He's saying the world has just completely collapsed in on itself, energetically speaking. So we've had the Hermetic grid that has come into the stead where the Christ consciousness grid or the divine masculine has collapsed. This isn't about male and female. This is just about transference of energy. Does that make sense? This new divine timeline, it's very, very linked, he's saying, into the outer polarity planets. Everything is cosmological in nature. That's what he's saying. Can I just get a drink? And he's talking in and what he's calling the primordial speech. I don't know. We're going back to our primordial speech. Does it make sense? He's saying it's the either called the celestial speech or the primordial accent. We're going back to the very, very origins of our universe and the quantum knowledge in the origins of that universe. Now he's saying September 24th onwards is a very, very, very auspicious time. He's saying, but with auspiciousness in all paradoxical language and all paradoxical light, you can't have good without bad. You can't have stasis without homeostasis. And he's saying we're in this complete duality right now. He wants us to hold on to our truth and our light. This is going to be a time where our truth and our light is going to be fully challenged. Whatever your truth is, by the way, whatever your perception of the truth. And he's saying, Seth Med Seth Med. He wants to talk about what he's calling the Trinity of the Trinities. The Ennead. The power of 9. And he wants to go back to the 9/9/2020, which was brought up as Lionsgate in a channel previous to this. He was saying that the 8/8 Lionsgate wouldn't really be relevant. It would be the 9/9 Lionsgate that was the most pivotal. And that actually ended up being completely accurate because of what happened on the 9th. He wants to bring forward this Trinity of Trinities. He's saying we're moving into an alchemical speech, a primordial speech. Everything we say is going to have value, energetic value. Beloved is here, so the energy that we know to be Jesus, whatever you want to call him. Again, it's compassion, compassion, compassion. They bang this home all the time. But it's unreserved compassion. It cannot be conditional compassion. You either have compassion or you don't. Does that make sense? Beloved saying it's compassion for all or compassion for none. There doesn't seem to be a duality within this. He's saying it's a categorical need and a categorical right for the planet to be held within compassionate light. They need to assist us on this light. We've also got galactics, higher energies, whatever you want to call them, also coming in. They work together in this ennead. This is the power of 9, but in the trinity of 3. So 3, 3, 3. These are also, I'm being told by John D, are called the manifesting numbers. So 33, we know that's a manifesting number. He's saying 19, 2,160. These are numbers that we need to work with, we need to manifest with. But he's saying we are moving into an expansive point of manifestation. So be careful what you manifest. And with the dark comes the light, and with the light comes the dark. If we're trying to manifest positivity, great. But if we feel like we're going into a negative fear, that will also manifest itself. We're moving into a time, he's saying, that hasn't been seen on earth for a long, 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 long time. Incredibly powerful energy coming in. He's saying a lot of you are going to be feeling like your equilibrium is off. That could actually mean physically. So visual disturbances, hearing disturbances, but also equilibrium disturbances. So if you feel kind of sometimes like, whoa, a bit off, he's saying it's all about really grounding into the phosphorus. So phosphate healing. Don't know. He was an alchemist of the mercurial silver and the mercurial gold. The philosopher's stone. Excuse me. And with the philosopher's stone comes the fountain of all knowledge. The knowledge of the Cruits, he's calling it. So he's saying September 24th onwards, October, November are incredibly pivotal to the planet's ascension, to our spiritual ascension, but also to the liberation of veritas, truth. The truth will become known, whatever that truth is. I'm not channeling at the moment, I'll just say this. I just want to say, through my channeling for many, many years, I've always been told that when the truth comes out, it's not always palatable. So if you want truth that's nice and tidy and tied up and slick, it's not going to be that way. It's a guttural truth. John D's back. Okay. Seth Med he keeps saying it. I don't know. He's saying this is the language of the primordial, the celestial speech. So he's giving us a bit of a kind of understanding of where we're going. And he's saying, if you don't understand it right now, that's okay. Vibrationally, they have to place it a bit forward in time, even though time doesn't exist. We're delayed. He's saying, you're like a star that you see in the sky. That star that we see, dead sometimes, gone. So we're in delay. We're retrograded. Does that make sense? Humanity has always been in a retrograde stasis. We need to up our frequency, up our light. And he's saying the only way to do that is to acknowledge both sides of the truth. Both sides. And beloved saying the only way real truth will come is through compassion. And when they say compassion, they don't mean a virtual signaling compassion. They don't mean that at all. They mean unconditional compassion, which means it's not easy. I've got Serpentina, who is a kind of dual energy. So the snake energy. This is about Ophiuchus and the 0 point field. Everything is starting to rotate around this central point in the universe. They're saying it's like this spark, this tiny dot, and through this dot of light comes absolutely everything. It's a rotating expansion. It's beautiful. And as it rolls forward, it's definitely vortexual in how it moves. It's got this kind of time, space and light to it. This it's an anchoring of consciousness to the hyperconsciousness, which sounds duality in itself, but they're saying that's actually correct. Everything is paradoxical. Time and space and light, the trinity of trinities. You can't have speed without slow. You can't have speech without muteness. It's all about a coagulation of quantum light right now. The Magdalene energy is here. She is always one that gives forward in service. She's saying we are all in service, and we're in service to our commune, our community, but our celestial community. There's no difference between her, John Dee, me, and, you know, Bill Bloggs that works in McDonald's. We are all the same interface. We're all, she's saying, we're linking off the same mainframe. There's just some that understand the mainframe better than others. And that's not a good or a bad thing. She's saying that literally is just the soul's progression going forward. But the planet's progression is also pivotal right now. John Dee's saying from September onwards, it's water, water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Don't know what that means. We're going to have a lot of water. I tend to think that's a cleansing of the planet. I don't think it's catastrophic, but I do feel it might be more than normal. We've definitely got a pole shifting aspect going on. These aren't dramatic pole shifts, you know, where, I've said this before, we won't end up in the Bahamas. We will end up on an energetic slip. It's a shifting of this divine timeline. Wow. There's new frequency of planets coming in. They're all sort of, they're showing it here and here and here. These planets are integrating with each other, but they've got a very, very slight frequency change to all of them. But the Earth is our anchor planet. She's our home planet. She needs a lot of our divine love and compassion. But she'll get to a point, and we've heard this so many times, she'll get to a point where she can just shake us all off if she wants to. We are not in control of this destiny here. They're talking about the Deags Belt, which is it's an area that spins in space of rock planets, exoplanets, also known as the Kuiper Belt or the asteroid belt. These are really, really starting to manifest. They're also starting to have a lot of effect on the other planets. And we've got Planet X, Nibiru, Tiamat, whatever you want to call it, that is really interfering on this long elliptical planet. And it's on an elliptical sort of orbit that's rattling everything in the timelines. So the 1952 timeline has completely collapsed. I just want to interject, so you can channel and also interject at the same time. So when I did the lens, I think it was 2020, I was told that the Queen would pass in 2022. I don't know if it was the month, but we were told. So they give us information going forward. John Dee is giving us information going forward. He's saying there's certain aspects that are absolute cemented in the divine timeline, things we cannot change. But he's saying there's also things that you can change. Does it make sense? Certain signposts cannot be changed. The way that we get to that signpost sometimes can be changed. He's saying there's still time. There's quite a lot of positive light that they feel going forward in the next 12 years. Things that are from untruth are going to be exposed to the light of truth. It's another paradox. And some of these truths are so beyond our comprehension of what it is. Even us, who we think we're awake, I don't think we really are, to be honest, will be, it's a revelation, it's a revelatory. They want to send light to everyone and healing, It's an energy exchange. It's a plasmic interfacing exchange. John Dee gives very, very specific information. He's not going to give it on a big forum like this, because it has to be condensed, understood, researched, and then written down. Does that make sense? It's geometric in its understanding, and you can't have chaotic geometry. Everything has to be in its place. It has to be angled. Now he's talking about Iris. Okay. It's either a planetoid or an exoplanet. And it's got a planet hidden right behind it that has not been seen by any telescope because of the exact position of the geometry. So some planets you can't see, but this planet is behind it in such a perfect formation. He's saying it's a binary star planet. Everything has its duplication. And he's talking about the unveiling and the unveiler. They're talking about this charismatic statesperson who's going to come in and perceive to change the world. But it's just a masked person. The mask will be pulled down. I've also been told in the lens, and I'm just asking them to confirm this, that King Charles, I don't think, is going to be on the throne for long. People have been quoting Nostradamus on this. I'm not sure how true that is, but there's something quite big that's coming in all aspects of governance. So be it monarchy, government, councils, there's going to be a huge change to how we are governed. And this is where we're going to have to take self-responsibility. I've never been one for the 10-day blackout, and I'm still not. And they're laughing about that. They're saying, but, you know, it's not going to be what we think it is. I'm also being told that all of the fear right now about money, electricity, gas, heating your homes, food in the winter, all of that is absolute perception and abject fear. And it's got no basis in the new divine timeline. Everything, these crinkles are all going to be just ironed out. Does that make sense? Obviously, cut your cloth accordingly, but do not fall into the fear of this. It is another timeline holographic projection of fear. When we transcend that fear, we sit in our wholeness, in our homeostasis state of being. Oh, I've got a new energy coming in, who I've not met before. I always love this. This is someone's celestial body. Diamorpha. Diamorpha. Beautiful. I think it's definitely female. But there's an aspect of divine feminine and divine masculine with this. I think Diamorpha is a planet or an exoplanet or a celestial understanding. They're saying that they welcome everyone. This is new information. This is a celestial divine timeline information. She's saying, and I'll call her a she, that though we will perceive our road in the next few months as incredibly up and down and rocky, hold your ground. Ground, ground, ground. And ground with the quartz. So clear quartz, ground yourself. Quartz is not actually a grounder. It's going to be the thing that we're going to need the most. It's going to clear a lot of the earth energies that are going on, but also the planetary ley lines that are completely intermorphed with the earth. And there is this kind of transference. She will give us more information next time in channel, but she just wants to introduce herself. She is definitely, she's saying she's very much linked to me, and I've never met her, so it's interesting. She is here as a counterpart to Gaia, our earth. We need to fuel our bodies with non-metallic. There's a lot of metal coming in. So we need to sort of alkaline, but not in the way of food. So this is a bit weird. We need the frequency of 187448. 187448. That would obviously be a remedy. Homeopaths out there, get your machines out. And she is calling it the diamorphic frequency. So we welcome her. She's beautiful. If I could give you a visual, I don't know how to explain her. She's just a translucent frequency of light, but she's so expanding. And she's got this strand of pink going all the way through her existence. But it's the kind of pink I've never seen before. And this is the audible live stream as well. The sound of the universe that works through the 9 and the Trinity of the Trinities. They're sending us frequency. And they wish us well. They wish us truth. And they wish us to use our compassion for the very, very, very reason we need to use it. To be compassionate is to be divine. And they step back. Okay. Everyone still with us?
Still with us. Katie Lee's all over it. Just want to pick something up that Sam Monroe mentioned. You referenced phosphorus.
Yes.
You also mentioned just...
I don't know, I will forget.
Yeah, you just very recently mentioned they want us to have non-metallics.
Yeah.
So Sam's put phosphorus is one of the elements that had its own alchemy symbol. Alchemists felt that light represented the spirit. The non-metallic element phosphorus was of interest. Oh, it's gone.
Oh no.
Hold on. This happened. Was of interest because of its apparent ability to contain light.
Interesting.
As evidenced by the characteristic glow in the dark.
Wow.
Which phosphorus gives, isn't it?
Okay. Oh, and phosphorus is a homeopathic remedy.
Excellent. And it's a non-metallic, which they just referenced. So...
Yeah, so it's very interesting. Obviously, when I'm channeling, I have no idea what's going to come out. So we've had John D. What was she called? Diamorphia. I felt Diamorphia was like a planet.
That one you kept saying more. I can't remember his name now.
And Iris, she mentioned. Iris. Okay, so obviously I don't know what half of it means, I've got to be honest. But I do feel that the information that's coming out will really have a deep relevance. Good for sore throats, phosphorus, actually. That's interesting. Is the primordial speech equal light language? Would you confirm? I'm not... This is from Diane, D. Jane. Light language for me is... I struggle with that, I'm going to be honest. I think there's a lot of people that use it and don't understand what they're doing with it. But it isn't something that I use or I would use. But it could be the primordial celestial speech or language that John Dee was referring to. He kept saying, oh God, I've forgotten it. Mer-u or something.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. I need a pad next time.
Okay. I will go over this and maybe write the channel down, actually, because I think there was some information that was quite powerful within it. They gave us a frequency number as well.
7448, but Katie Lee's, I think, already got that in hand.
Thank you, Katie. So Faye, love that. Phosphorus is homeopathic. Thank you, Faye. Thank you, Pam. So Pam Gregory, feel that we have definitely shifted timelines now. Lock on to love, absolutely. And lock on to compassion. Maybe compassion and love are essentially the same thing.
Somebody's mentioned that. Seth.
He kept saying Seth Meder. Yeah. Again, I don't know. So a lot of you might want to look the information up. No, it was interesting. He was very, very, John D was very specific in that he gives very specific information, but wouldn't maybe do it out on this sort of forum yet because it needs to be written down, researched and understood. And I do feel that that's because it's very powerful. He did Enochian magic. I think this is where we're going. There's a lot of people that don't truly understand when they're working the 7 spiritual laws. I have to always take into account when I'm working the 7 spiritual laws. And you know, anyone can do channeling, anyone can, but the channel has a responsibility not only for that information, but for the deliverance of that information, and the receptivity of people to accept it. Does that make sense? There's many, there's so much that goes into energy exchange, and I think a lot of people maybe don't understand that. So just be a bit mindful and aware, that's all. Okay, so Seth Meder. So I don't know. P is saying Seth Meder could be angelic language. Dihad could very well be. Is that the same as Hermetic law and the principles? Yes, James, absolutely the same. Do unto others that you wouldn't do to yourself, that sort of thing. So if I'm doing a psychic reading or a mediumship reading, I have to take into account the person that I'm reading for and the spirit energy that's come in that wants the message given. Does that make sense? A lot has to be taken into account, and the law of one, absolutely. Kathy Busby, hello my lovely, so much information, you're very welcome. And again, can I just shout out to people that are working in the light and doing it in a community-based aspect as well. Okay? So I will be doing these channels more often. Obviously I started doing this through lockdown and continuing to do it because I think it's important, and they always want this community. Can I just say, can you read this here, Dee?
I can, through your screen.
Can you read this through the screen? So everyone, I just want to show you, I've got a YouTube channel called Consciousness TV with Kathy Mingo. I've had it for years, just don't know how to use it. So I'm going to try and also move myself onto YouTube. So if everyone could go Consciousness TV with Kathy Mingo, and I'll start uploading these if I can onto that. So I've got a record, because I'm not sure how long Facebook's going to keep me going. Got to be honest. So, and I'm not, if anyone out there is media savvy, could you message me and maybe help me with getting myself on YouTube and doing things like that, because I think it's quite, the next few months we're going to need a lot of information, and I feel like as a collective we need to support each other, and I'm very big for supporting other people and having other people support the work that we're all doing, because again, we are a unit, we're not singular, and we never have been. And it's time to move out of egocentric into, I don't know what the word for anti-egocentric would be, community. Seth was the brother of Horus. Okay. Okay, so has anyone got any more questions? The live has been amazing. Thank you. Definitely go to YouTube. I will. I'll try and put these on if I can figure out how to do it. Better with brand YouTube, Kathy, to be honest. YouTube censor as much as Facebook. Okay, thank you, Claire. Can I just thank Dee again for... Dee shaking her head. Peter, I can show you how to download Facebook Live so they can be uploaded. Peter, thank you. Love you too, Catherine. See you Saturday. Yeah. Kathy, oh, and also, can I just say, because Kate Butler-Ross has just popped up, and this is, so the lens, I talk about the lens all the time, and that is, I've been doing it for, how long would you say, Dee? Couple of years. There's so much information from the lens that is, it's recorded, it's dated. This information that has been dated has been very correct in its, can I use the word prophecy? And so this is all going to go into a book. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the lens information into a book. And then obviously that book, we're just trying to get everything collated, and there's so much information. It's mad the amount of information that's coming in at the moment. So just to let you know that we will be getting all of this lens information down on a book when it's collated.
You mentioned Kate. Were you going to mention anything about Kate?
So Kate Butler-Ross is hopefully going to ghostwrite the book. Love you, Kate. I know it's a big project. And again, I just want to say to all of you healers and all of you beautiful people out there that really do this spiritual thing from the heart center. I can't reiterate, I've been saying it over and over today. It's such a powerful thing that we are now together, and I just want to say that. Looking forward to the book. So am I. It's going to be it'll be like a doomsday book. It's going to be so big because it'll have to be kind of pulled out into, I think, different sort of book series. Anyway, so thank you again for watching. I'm going to keep these to an hour just so you don't get bored and my voice doesn't go. So I'm going to do these more regularly. Thank you so much for following. Go to my YouTube if I can figure it out. And also, if you could share, I'd really appreciate it, because, again, Facebook has really kind of algorithmed me out. So anyway, lots of love. I thank you all. And Wendy, I hope you're feeling better, by the way. Think of you often. And Alex, thank you, and thank you everyone, and thanks to Dee Dee as well. She's always behind the camera, but I couldn't do this without her, so big up for Dee. Dee is in the house. Big up to Dee.
Thank you,
and lots of love, everyone, and I'll see you again very soon.
Take care, everyone.
Take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.